From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has spoken with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump to offer his congratulations and for some preemptive diplomacy. The two spoke last night in a conversation that ranged from cross-border trade and supply chains to North American security. The pair pledged to remain in close contact while Trump prepares to return to the White House in January. Stateside, Democratic leadership held a closed-door meeting to discuss their Election Day losses, including Vice President Kamala Harris's failed bid for the presidency. Reporter Mary Alice Park says many are already starting to point fingers.
The game of I told you so is strong, and it has started, and not just on the activist level, but I'm looking at just a scathing statement from Senator Bernie Sanders, calling her campaign strategy a disaster, blasting what he called, basically accusing them of being like millionaire Democrat strategists for running a campaign into the ground.
Sanders singled out wealth inequality and a slipping standard of living among the problems Democrats need to focus on. Matthew Lebo, a specialist in American politics at London, Ontario's Western University, says it's clear to him there was a divided and unhappy electorate that went through COVID-19, rising prices, and international crisis. Kamala Harris delivered a graceful concession speech yesterday, wishing Trump well and promising a smooth transition. President Joe Biden is expected to deliver his first post-election speech on his VP's loss. It'll come this afternoon from the White House Rose Garden. If this week's U.S. election has left you feeling a little wiped out and exhausted, you're not alone.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
The Canadian Psychological Association says the results declaring Donald Trump America's next president has worldwide impact, and it's normal for Canadians to have various emotions about it. Association president and clinical psychologist Anita Gupta says if people are feeling anxious or distressed, they may want to take a break from news coverage and social media. She says prioritize sleep and know that simple acts of self-care can make a difference. Gail Brown at Kids Help Phone reminds parents that kids and teens have likely heard things too, and they need to be given the chance to express their feelings and ask questions. And Ottawa has ordered TikTok's Canadian business to be dissolved over national security risks.
Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne says the government's wind-up demand is meant to address risks related to TikTok's parent company, ByteDance. The minister's office did not immediately respond to a request for details about the evidence that led to the government's demand, how long ByteDance has to comply, and why the app is not being banned. A TikTok spokesperson says in a statement the shutdown of its Canadian offices will mean the loss of hundreds of well-paying jobs. The company plans to challenge the order in court. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, in the NHL last night, 2 goals from Noah Hanifin had the Vegas Golden Knights winning their first road game of the season. They came from behind to shock the Edmonton Oilers 4-2. The Oilers have lost 2 straight now, despite getting captain Connor McDavid back from injury earlier than expected for last night's game. Detroit beat Chicago 4-1, and Alex Ovechkin's score midway through the third to reach 861 in his career and help Washington beat Nashville 3-2. The Toronto Raptors now 2-7 after losing 122-107 to the Kings in Sacramento. The Kings were led by former Raptors star DeMar DeRozan with 27 points, while the Raptors were led by Mississauga, Ontario native RJ Barrett with 23 points. And the Cleveland Cavaliers just keep winning. The Cavs beating New Orleans 131-122 to open at 9-0 for the first time in their 55-year NBA history. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.